from spacesbox.com, and I'm live at RSM Lake. It's a beautiful lake here in RSM. I live in RSM. These are some people walking around it. It's a beautiful lake. Don't know if it's paid by public or private funds, if it's owned by the city or if it's owned by the state. It's a beautiful lake. No one's on it today, like most of the times. Sometimes there's one guy who works for the uh, over there. We'll see it in a second. He has his boat out here, but there's no one using boats out here. So why can't this be a lake where people could bring a boat to go water ski or jet ski or fish or other things like that? Like, why can't it be a lake that we could use it for, other than just being pretty? It's pretty, and also fishing. It looks like here, if you go over here, um, says that uh, common species keep our lake. There was another things, fishing and lure attached receptacles. Our information doesn't. It's also, I think it's catch and release. It's not actually where you can get here and this would be a great lake for people want to come as a fishing type of thing. Have a lot of boats out here fishing, and they could get somebody to donate fish, a bunch of fish to, and if the fish later live after the event, well, people can fish and eat fish from it. But this is a beautiful lake. It's in RSM, California. Sorry, had to get down to get my drink and walk around. I'll walk around and walk on the paths today. Anyway, um, how's y'all's day going today? I'm doing okay. It could be better. And sorry for the the screen kind of jumping around. It's because I'm walking. Sometimes I walk, and this is the lake I go walk at. It has a lot of these nice apartment buildings or condos, I think about it. And then it does have entrances on it. And it's always busy during like Easter, Christmas, big days like that. And I came out here. It's on Route 89. There's an there. If this is a pretty cool lake to go to if you on Route 89 bus route, and the bus route also goes to Laguna Beach. So from the from the beaches to the mountains, because there's our mountains. Those are mountains. So Route 89 goes from the beaches to the mountains. I've been trying to get. So I've been writing about that, and I'm also writing about Donald Trump on January 6th, and also writing about the stuff related to having water skiing and jet skiing in these two lakes. There's Lake Mission Viejo, and then there's Lake RSM. And there's a beautiful, and then they do have this complex over here for people in their club or in the homeowners association. I don't know if it's club or homeowners, and they do have boats over there. And then these have these chairs. What I don't understand is they have all these chairs, and no one has, except for one thing over here. Um, in Laguna, they have chairs like this, and they all have little plates on them from people who donated things like. And this is a lady who died in 9/11 on a plane that was Lisa Ann Frost. She lived from 12/21/78 to 9/11/01. She died in the thing on the World Trade Center. She was killed. My day, my brother was in the air, and he was in the same state, same place that those airplanes came out of. It was in um, anyway in that state. Anyway, and so was his father was flying because he was flying for one of the airlines, our father-in-law, and then also another person was my brother-in-law works for it's stock trader. He learned at the World Trade Center stock trading. So this tree was donated for 9/11, and the family was related to it. Now they do have these boats out here. They are not ski boats; they are just regular boats. But they do have two of them out here. Wish they had a ski boat out here. I wish they would have had a jet ski for people to rent, public people to rent, or maybe if they had it for the locals to rent, people in the club. Supposedly I'm in the club, I can't access it because um, I am in Friendship. I subleased my apartment from uh, Friendship, Friendship Shelter, and Friendship Shelter. Yeah, and yeah, that's what's funny. Yeah. In their world, something might be around here that can devour or something. Yeah. You look like J.T. Smith, man. That dog, somebody I know. They do have these little boats out here that people can drive, but I don't ever see anybody on these little boats. And then they do have that little craft-like thing, but then they do have two full boats and jet skiing and water skiing, and they don't have RC. So I saw one of the people working here have his RC craft out there. They don't have. They also you could have Laguna Beach has those surfboards that you can put surfboard under and a windsail. Windsail. This would probably be a great lake for windsail. Um, my brother did that, where you can have a catamaran, I think it's called, where you can use wind and a surfboard to fly around it. And then they do have, looks like they have Santa Maria Community Residence. And that says fishing designed for zones only disposable fish hooks, and doesn't say if it's release or not. E-bikes or motorized visit. Won't know. Dogs. Assistant chat with the team. Safety first. Some like beach club office. Yeah. This is Semi Lake Lakeshore, Factory hour 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Case of faculty, call 911 on risk. Private trusses will be persecuted. So it says it's private property. So the city of Rancho San Margaret does not own this, I guess, then. Or if is it completely, this lake completely owned by the friends of the association? Is it and is it a public lake or is it a private lake? Do public funds support this lake? And they do have the Rancho San Margaret thing right here. Yeah, we're in about 8 minutes on live video from RSM Lake here, and they do have a boat ramp, and they do have a little tricycle thing. They could rent more of those, I guess, on events like, they do have this 4th of July event here. They do have there's a boat ramp there, but they, by 4th of July, Christmas, and other events. And I did like those events because I do have a lot of video from those events. Then they do have a donation tree if you ever want to donate to a pantry here. There's a pantry donation. Then they have I did lose my glasses up at this lake. It really kind of sucked. It was logo Santa Margarita Beach Club. But I put them down on a beach seat one day and totally lost them. It was like $350 glasses. It really sucked. And then I gone through so many pairs of glasses. So I'm disabled, low income. Hope to make some more money. Maybe have money in another dimension, but in this dimension, I just don't. I have a lot of family in another dimension. Maybe I don't in this dimension, but I do have some physical family. A lot of interesting people I met along the way. Yeah, they do have, looks like a full leg, and then they do have this little apartment out here for, I guess, their tools and stuff, or if that's apartment, I don't know which. Then they do have like people for, come out here and they can sunscreen, and then they have, and it says private security, I guess. I don't know if it's got security for the lake. Then that's the maintenance for it. I don't know. I do see public maintenance out here. Talked to them there. Said they were with Parks and Recs. A lot of stuff that says it's private. Is it private or is it public? Or is it just the clubhouse private? Doesn't have gates or anything to enter the property. That's another reason. Yeah. Anyway, walking along. Yeah. Nice houses though, and condos. You have a nice day at the lake. Anyway, I'm live on spacesbox YouTube channel. I'm also live on I'm trying to do spacesbox media, have independent source for all my media. I'm trying to get other people to come to it. Been having problems trying to find a host though. I was using Bluehost and then I had problems with them. I had problems with Hostinger, and then I was also having problems with my other the host that I originally was with was uh, Certified Hosting. It was adult only hosting, but it was actually I didn't ever use it for adult hosting. Then they went and were purchased by Performance, and then later after Performance, I've been with Performance and certified for over 15 years or 12 years. And then this Spacesbox YouTube channel is over 20 years old. And then they do have a pool over there, and they do have places to do barbecue and other things over in there. I've never been inside the actual clubhouse and seen. I don't know if they have a restaurant or anything else. It looks a little like a fun place to hang out as a family or spend time in the community. You know. This is live on my Android phone. I did go into the Apple store yesterday and had issues trying to get my Apple iPhone working. So now I'm basically using the Android phone. I had an iPhone Pro Max 15. Uh, the people over at Mobile Supply were really good. I ended up purchasing this phone though from the local Ralph store, and it has an eSIM in it from Mint Mobile. That's what I'm using currently. I do have. I didn't ever use the. It's actually a phone with an air service provider, Cricket. But I do have a Cricket SIM, and I haven't activated it. It may not. It may stop working. There workout places like that on this lake. I thought it was kind of cool. This like the only thing I see other than the thing for that lady who died in 11/11 was this guy over here. Sometimes I come over here and put my drink down. I hope he has a drink because and and then some of the people. I hope he shares it with the people down in Laguna, at least signs too. So put my drink down, share them with those people, and it's this guy named or memory of Merlin Luster. Let's go to another breeze and good company. Don't know if he was a man or woman, um, but there's no other beach other these signs aren't on the other ones, and it's the same way with but in Laguna Beach they're all over the place. Laguna Beach is it's kind of cool because they have grass on certain areas. So grass, like no one wants to get rid of all the grass in California. I thought, I'm a big fan of grass. If this had the things like I think if it had water ski, jet skiing, or any of those type of events or fishing events, we'd have a lot of people using this grass to put things out during their 4th of July event. It's totally full. During their Christmas event, it's usually pretty full. During big events like that, it's full. And why don't you use the park to the best ability of the park? Because you want to make money for the park and people money for the city, don't you? If you don't make money for the city, then the city shrinks. And that's why I wanted some changes done on the Route 89, that they changed the route instead of ending where they're currently ending at the Church of Solomon Catholic Church. Since it has a bus stop there, that would make more sense, and also would make things more. Since they also have buses for their school kids, and on so they could and I rode the bus during this year, and school kids ride the bus for free, I think. Anyway, they were riding the bus when I rode it to other high schools. When I rode it, because my car's been down for the last 6 months because somehow I wrote the wrong thing on my January 6th saying people shouldn't die being in the Capitol during the time. And when he signed a pardon for all those people, he didn't say anything about him losing the election or anything about the to Biden. He also didn't say anything because the electoral college did say he lost it, and then also electoral college. He also didn't say anything about people who died that day, or people who died. They got crushed to death. Would you want to be crushed to death? That'd be a painful way to die. Yeah, it'd be a horrible way to die. Yeah. This is 16, 17 minutes. Just walking around like this does have a little water fountain, but during most of the big events, they do have. They come back here and have a bunch of those buses or they do cooking events where they have a lot of trucks for food. They also do it sometimes at the clubhouse on these big events. And then I did come in here one day and I did see the clubhouse, the Boy Scout do their thing here. There's also, I've seen a couple concerts here in this little thing. It reminds me of the Paddock Park where my sister lives. She lives in Manhattan Beach, and that's where they have concerts. It's a beautiful little concert avenue. Sometimes I go down here and dance, thinking about my girlfriend. Listen to music and dance and think about what life could be. And I see all the little rocks and everything else. It's a beautiful little area. My phone's gonna probably go dead here in a bit, but this is it's a beautiful little area to spend time with family and friends. And anyway, there is a couple neat things over here. There's some girls decided to do a bookstore out here, and it's also one at Solana Catholic Church. I need to get hold of the people who are, or somebody needs to get hold of the people who do the free Bibles at Gideon to see if they send some Bibles to the church, to the one like this at Solana Catholic Church, so they have Bibles. But anyway, there's their water fountain and some more signage for the lake and the light. They do have this. Looks like Girl Scout Troop 2898 Bronze Award, and it has books that you can just grab and take home, but you can also donate to them. I did donate like $2 or $3 to them, and they're little free library.org. 2019 Bronze Award Project, Girl Scout Troop 2998. And if you open it up, you can see all the different books, but you can also see people's names, like Caitlin and Marilyn and Faye and the same thing. If you open the one up at the salon, you can see a guy with the Eagle Scout. And then has all the books that people could check out or buy or get free here, or you can donate your books. Yes, so it's not closing. Kind of wearing down. Then they do have their lookout here. It looks like a really nice area. Howdy, Donnie YT Holney, Maria Flores, GD21. Say hi to both of y'all. Don't know if anybody else is on there. This is going live on YouTube. It's not live on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. I could go live on TikTok because I do have TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. You go Hoobie Michael Gouldy, you'll find a list of my current stuff. I do. Most of my websites are currently down. They're basically just being transferred to my websites on the YouTube platform. I'm going to try again both up back up. Trying to find a host. I might just go back to Bluehost if Bluehost works with me, or find some other host that works with me. You know, try. And I also want to try to do something like a PeerTube or something. At one point, I liked how Minus Media Group did their stuff. I don't think I'm going to join Minus Media Group. I don't know if I'm ever going to join J2Sense or any of those big people like that, because I've had a problem with I'm seeing Jay a lot everywhere I go, and it's not a good thing. It's a good thing to see his brother, and I think his other brothers might be honest. I don't know. Maybe just man bullshit make believe, just like my book, And these people don't know. Are y'all with the city or with the park, or are y'all with the county? Who do y'all work for? Do you work for the RSM, the, the for the club, or who do y'all? Do you work for this the county of Long Beach or Orange County? What parks? So it looks like this is a public beach, and it says everything I see is saying it's private. So if it's private, then it should have private funds shouldn't be paid for it. And if it's public, then it should have public should access it, the lakes, for those events, or has some type of events. I've tried to contact I did write emails, letters, and stuff to the homeowners association, and he said this is our property, so fuck off, basically. And he also said other nice things to me. And I said, screw him too. And then I also wrote to the people down in Mission View. They're like, and they basically said the same thing. I've even tried to talk to the people at the local. Um, uh, I've been trying to get back with the local Rotary clubs of both at Mission Viejo, and I lived in Mission Viejo for 10 years, and I did a barbecue event there, and then also, so it's on Cooking with Space AK microwaving. I also lived there in the Casa Loma apartments at 202, but now live in RSM apartment 53H. But I don't know, there's some guy that lives there in my old apartment that uses the same. I saw his car before, and it's a car that looks like it's a Honda with some some dog heads on his seats. I thought that looked kind of cute when I passed by. Always when I used to live in the condo. Now he looks like he took over my old apartment. Went over there and met somebody, and they said they redid it, and I just said hi and I left. I sent them forwarding information from me and my roommate. She lived there with me for 10 years. Before that, another guy living with me. And then the old lady and the old man who owned the property leased it to Friendship, and then they subleased it to us. And this is a nice little park area, and they do have people that come out here and do events, like and the events they do are mostly just plain, doing doing eating, and then sometimes jump and jive would probably fit in this area. I did see something like that near on the park near the what was it where the city capital is. There's a park but there is no playground at this lake, and that's why I'm surprised there isn't any type of playground for little kids to play around. Little kids like playgrounds. I guess these things could be called playgrounds, but not really. Yeah, they do have, it's just for old fogies over in this lake. I don't know. And they do have a lot of geese and ducks. Like I go to the lake in Amarillo. They'd feed these ducks. The Parks and Recs would feed them like cornmeal and bread, and people bring bread out and feed them ducks. You know, some people would eat the ducks. They're ducks. And then they have two different pathways here. And sometimes they have like when during events they have sometimes they have like food and other things in this area. Then they do have an elementary school down that street to the left, and then these are some condos. I looked at some of these; they were, I think, $200 or $500,000 to get into a condo here. One of these condos over here. I looked at just out of curiosity to see how much they were running. And there's some. Oh, there is in there one that has an air plate. That's new to me. Oh, actually, yeah, in memory of honor of Richard Rees, visionary architect in Santa Margarita community. He loved his place and he called it home. Anyway, I was thinking about doing something like this for a family that I thought of mine that might have died, and some people I know. So I was going to do a plate for myself. I tried contacting them. They never responded. They did respond saying that you could do one at downtown in the at the city hall. I wasn't really interested in city hall because I don't like the city hall. That mayor just doesn't talk to me very often. I've gone there 4 times and he has never said hi, never once. And I've tried getting appointments with him. He doesn't meet with me. I've tried to meet with different people here related to because I'm pressing media through CES 2025, 2026, and Computex. And I talk about this is a media related story, and this is also a media related story about Route 89 because I'm also disabled and walk around. Even that I walk around and take the bus everywhere. Yeah, and I'm disabled. Yeah, yeah. It's important for me. They do have buoys out there. They have these buoys out there. What are these buoys doing out there? Is it saying that the water is it shallow or is it deep? Have they checked? Could they go around and check the deepness of the water to see if it could do jet skis? Could it do water skiing? Could it do any of these type of events? I even tried contacting them to see if they checked and see if there's anything way that they could do that. And it's a beautiful lake. And RSM Lake is beautiful. RSM Lake. This is RSM Lake, but Mission Viejo Lake is a beautiful lake. The homeowner association over there supposedly owns that lake. I think they have a restaurant club like this also there, but they don't allow people to jet ski, water ski, or even paddleboard on the lake. They have other things, and they don't let RC craft on the lake. I don't think. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't see anybody using this lake to the benefit of the population of Rancho Santa Margarita. And there's that guy. See, he's driving a boat. Looks like water skiing and jet skiing could happen. There he goes. Driving. Howdy. Can we water ski on this lake? Jet ski? Drive around? Cool boat. You're live on YouTube. Looks like fun. Being the only one that gets to be out there in the water. Yeah, we can have that boat out there with boats. Why is that? If it's a boat ramp, why can't we use it as a boat ramp? Looks like he's having fun. Why can't other people have fun on this lake? Is it private? Is it just? Is it personal? Does he personally own this lake? Are we using public funds to fund his lake? Yeah, he almost looks like Will Smith. Maybe he was a flag on his shirt. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Kind of cool flag though. Cool bike though. Some of these electric bikes are cool. Don't know if it's legal on the lakes though. Yeah, they do have signs out here, um, and they say it's closed. But why do they have lights if it's closed late at night? You know, why don't they leave it on 24/7? You know, that's what lights usually are for. They can be out here when it's darker. I have walked out here one time when it was real like 3 or 4 in the morning and got a coke and just walked around. I like to walk, spend time with people, and get to know people. Probably shouldn't do that, but yeah. Anyway, anybody else on? Only looks like 2 or 3 people come on. It's Donnie and Mara Flores. Looks like we had one hand up, 0 people on. We're live on YouTube, live on. I'm not live on TikTok. I'm not live on other platforms. I am using an Android-based phone. It's a $50 phone from Cricket. I got at the Ralph's here. I did have a really nice phone before that, but right before I had this one, I had a Samsung phone. Somehow I lost that, and then I had before I had the 15 Pro Max, and then I had a defective 12, and they were able. Mobile Supply worked with me and upgraded my phone, and I do advertising and other things for them. But they were just doing a great job taking care of me, and at at you know the people at Amazon, and I did some live advertising for Amazon. They say I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money for Amazon. I haven't made any money for Amazon. I haven't made any money for Patreon. I haven't made any money for PayPal. I haven't made any money for anybody. No, I guess I don't make any money for anybody. Too bad though. I'm telling you, I'm like, and then I have freedom of speech because half my emails I sent out from Messenger got returned with valid emails, and I do the same thing at the YouTube, and most of those get returned too. I'm thinking, why are my emails getting returned? Why are they getting blocked? Why am I being censored? What the fuck did I do? Maybe made the wrong comments. Probably me cussing probably gets us dropped, right? Probably might. And here's more notices. Important notice: do not feed the ducks or geese or wildlife. Fishing, properly dispose of all fishing lure, hooks and lines. Well, I guess they changed the policy of catch and release. I guess I thought there was catch and release. It's like, and I do have a lot of restaurants and stuff up here, and it's really nice and beautiful. That's one thing I really like about it. You know, like they have the Starbucks, they have the Big Pig, like El Cel. A lot of tasty restaurants, a lot of tasty food. Um, people like. I went too tough with my sister. I thought she liked it. Anyway, but I didn't like because they kind of messed up my order. But then they have this Mexican place over here, and then they have some Chinese places and other places. I tried to advertise my LLC, what's more of a social media, and then they have the Blind Pig, and they have this other restaurant here, and then they have nails and spas, go cookie, essentials. Then they have different things, and they also have down the way. They used to have a cigar place, and some there's a coffee place and some other places down there, and a liquor store and some other stuff. And then I think they even had Caesar's Pizza here at one time. And then they do have a Mel place. I didn't really like the lady at Mel place, but she had her own issues. She banned me from it, so I haven't been back. Then the guy at the Pure Center told me some stuff, and I couldn't afford it. So I after he looked at my equipment. He didn't charge me though, but so that was awesome. But then my equipment didn't work for about 6 months, and then it stopped working. Started working all by itself. It's awesome, and then stopped working again. My laptop, and then they do have this digital photo place, and then they have, I wrote this lady more than a few times over this company because they had a ad where Google was saying that their website was being blocked. And then there was this barbershop, and there is Ralph's, and then there's right beside the Ralph's is a Ace. I've even told the Ace to maybe they should think about maybe doing get food stamps in there, let people buy they have a lot of different things for barbecue and things to eat, and you enjoy it more. This is the place I've been barred from, the shipping place here. And then the Cleaners was a pretty cool place, and Fixing Gears is the other guy I talked to. But He did tell me my laptop to get fixed was like 180 plus the charger and everything else. And then it supposedly just started working again. I don't know what caused it to start working again. Now it's dead again. So my laptop is dead. Then there is Ralph's right here. Then right beside the Ralph's is the Ace. I thought they should have food stamps. Then they also have Bank of America, which is across the street. And then they have Circle K, and then they have Starbucks, and then they have Taco Bell. And they have a lot of tasty food in here. And then they have all these shopping carts. Yeah. I see a lot of shopping carts at my apartment complex, though. At this one end of my complex, where people bring them over, and I guess all these different, Smartville, Ralph's, and other places need to come by and pick them up. They just haven't been picked up yet. And then they do have plants out here if you want to purchase them, I guess, from Ralph's. And I did purchase this phone in Ralph's that I'm using currently to do this live stream. And then they do have more plants. And then they have to do more plants. But then they have water where you can buy the water and stuff. And then there's the UPS truck. But they have, then they have, gas if you want to buy that. And then they have, there's a Bank of America. And then they have this donation box over here for clothes and stuff. Don't know how that works. Supposedly you can maybe get gifts if you donate something to it. I don't know if that's true or not. This is RSM Lake. And they do have a bus stop over there for you to go on Route 89. And then they have a clearance right now for outdoor and decor. This is where where I was talking to the people about maybe doing, Chase Bank works with food stamps. And I think Chase needs to talk to Ace Hardware and see if they can get food stamps in there. So, because people who are disabled or, can buy, or, low income people that work in the, repairing and doing lumber or something could go in there and get food and also get supplies to do their repair work, Like, guys from Mexico or from, local people that just want to do repairs, their house or home or property. Then there is that place to donate stuff. And then there's Bank of America. I'm done with the lake, I guess. I do wish they'd have water skiing, jet skiing, and other events here. They also wish they'd have other events that you can enjoy in Santa Maria. I don't know. Looks like lady from their name. And there's the clothing thing, the disposal thing. I don't know how they do it. I did work, I did volunteer at places, but the clothing thing, there's places I go to. It's called, I donate out some food, close out with the down in San Clemente. My old roommate loved the women's center. It's called, it's not women's center. It's called. Anyway, they donate cars and they also donate other things like FAM. It's a church-based organization, and they also do other things down there. They FAM, you can donate clothes to FAM. You can donate, you get food. It's a women's shelter, where people get beat, and then what woman can find a place there to get away from the abuser. And my friend used to always love getting food there because he get food there. And then I do volunteer at Solana Catholic Church that's down the street here, where the bus would end, I would think. And I always thought this would be a great property if it had some type of say installed some type of car wash or maybe a self wash. Because this is a hot area. People want to wash their car. I live in this complex across the way, and the problem with that complex, it doesn't have anything for people who have electric powered cars. My old complex, the condo association, brought in electric power. They also brought in where they didn't have it where you can wash your car, and also so those two things would be kind of neat to have at that condo complex. And then we're also ending this live stream here in a couple minutes when I get closer to my place. This has been on for 40 minutes. I've been live using an Android $50 phone. I did go to the Apple store and got totally rejected yesterday. They said I had to totally reset my phone. It would take me a week to do it. And then I've done it last time I did it, and I've been doing it 3 or 4 times. Had problems. Talked to their support. Got really pissed off at this support, and I might be banned from Apple. I don't know if I am or not. As a customer support, they used to make it where if you had a problem with Apple, you go in there and show them your two IDs or ID, and you would or send them something, and you get logged back in. I've had the same problem with Facebook. I've had the same problem with Instagram. I've also had the same problem with people at not with TikTok, not with YouTube, but also I've had there. This is a bus stop here on Antonio, here on Rancho Santa Margarita. That takes me about 3 hours or 2 hours to get to Laguna Beach from here. But it also has other places along the way, eating places, places for work, connections to Mission Viejo, because it goes through Mission Viejo, it goes through Lake Forest, it goes through other lakes. It goes through. There's another Catholic. This would be there's another Catholic, another Lutheran church, and some other places down the way. There's a Circle K, and this is the OC bus, and this is Antonio and Rancho Santa Margarita. So instead of going to the next stop, the bus would turn at this stop and go to the right, and then turn around and come back at the Catholic. Where the Catholic is. That's where it has a looking bus stop type location. And then people, the Catholic also have it where most of their students get bused to other schools that are there. So maybe the city of Rancho Santa Margarita could have buses there, pick up people there. So the OCT could come to that location. And because there's no way to get to the other end of Antonio. Antonio is a long road. It goes the whole way to Oso. And it keeps going that way. I used to work Uber and Lyft, and I was disabled and didn't make a lot of money before my catalytic converter got stolen. And then I upgraded to 2 cars after that. And I couldn't really do Lyft on either the RAV4 or the Escape I got. They're both from my sister's family. Howdy, how you doing? Live stream. Live stream, sorry. And then they do have a mall up here at the end of RSM. It's kind of cool. So we'll walk up to the mall, and we'll end the live stream at the mall. They do have, it looks like the condo, the apartment complex I live at is the one across the street here. And then this is Music at the Lake, it looks like. And then they do have, it looks like houses over on this side. And down the street there is a playground and a school, though it's locked where you can't get into it. I don't know why it's locked where you can't get into the school and into the playground. But there's another playground on RSM down the way, what's really big and nice. And there's also one at the library, across from the library. Howdy, how you doing? And anyway, and this is the condos, and then looks like these might be condos or the apartments. I don't know if they're condos, apartments, or other things to the left of me. But they do have Smart and Vinyl up here. They have a candy store. Well, I guess I call it the candy store, but it's actually the dollar store, Dollar General, I think, or dollar something store. And then they do have the CVS. Sometimes I'll get my meds at CVS, and I'll pay my bill to Capital One at CVS. And then they actually have a Mexican restaurant, and their bread cooking place, and a pizza place, and a place to do, if you like fish, stuff there. I did see a really cool fish place yesterday. I don't like fish, but it was down at there's a seafood place by the Chase building in Lake Forest. But they had I had a spear of pork. It was really tasty. And then they actually had chicken too, and that was really tasty. and their restaurant was inside the seafood market. Down in Lake Forest. And then looks like some people working along the street trying to get everything ready and make it. It's pretty up here. It's warm. It's like 80 or 90 degrees. It'd be nice to be able to get a jet ski on that lake, or get catamaran or something on that lake, or do something, have fun, maybe swim. Some people maybe want to swim on that, but it does have. I guess they don't swim because they do have swimming pool at the homeowners association, I guess. But they do have lake pools in this apartment complex I live at. Supposedly it's owned by a friend of mine, but I don't know if it's owned or if that's true or not. Well, he's not a friend, but he may be related to Jay. Maybe related to somebody. I don't know. And there is, yeah. I used to always come up here sometime, very rarely. I come up here, and one thing I liked about up here was you can use food stamps at these Jack in the Box, and then they did have the Coke machine there, like the freestyle machine, by howdy, and there's another bus stop here. Some of them are really nice bus stops. Some like this bus stop is a really nice bus stop compared to if you go over to the one where the bus ends over. It's actually maybe down here. I could walk. Maybe I should into the line there. Anyway, it doesn't look like a bus stop. It just looks like another stop. It doesn't have any signs or anything saying bus stop. It's a Dollar Tree is a place to get candy. And there's a dentist over here, and there's different places, and then they have all these tasty restaurants. They have a repair shop, and then they for your car, and CVS, and used to have some other stores, and some have gone out of business. And they even have where you can buy pot up here, not pot, but actually stuff for smoking weed. But they don't have a dispensary up here. I'm surprised they don't have a dispensary up in Rancho Santa Margarita, but maybe it's illegal. Maybe it's legal. I don't know. And then all the cars are really nice, but the estimate regular pay for a house up here is $1 million, and I am disabled. I get $1,199 a month, and then I do work I volunteer at the pantry, and I volunteer at the pantry, and I also get food stamps. I need to refill up my food stamps because I haven't been able to do that. This is the thing, and then walking around here. And then this is Rancho Santa Margarita. Now there is a Target down the way. I had a friend. There's a difference between this apartment complex and where my friend used to live. He had an apartment complex. The guy that used to live with me somehow got one bedroom. I'm really jealous. And the one bedroom house had a washer and dryer, and it was a one bedroom, full one bedroom. It's front and back. And while I always had to live with somebody, and I was living with him, then I lived with her, and then, lived with Friendship Shelter. Then they do have their bus stop here, and then at the other end they have the last end of the line is actually down the way. I guess we'll go the whole way to the end of the line. By the time it ends, it should be an hour, maybe 5 more minutes. And then we do have Smart and Vinyl, different places to eat, Jack in the Box, nice tasty places, and they do have gas station. Then they do have a church up here again, and then there's the Sonic Catholic Church that's beside it. We used to have a food pantry at Sonic Catholic Church on Saturdays. I think still we do. And then there's a school right here, and church, and then there's a car. Looks like there's a car wash, I think, and there's a Shell station. But it doesn't have like a Coke fountain drink or anything in there. That's the only thing I don't like about that Shell station. Yeah, if I found drink, I'd probably go there a lot more often. It's so expensive, And then these are the apartment complex I currently live in. Over here to the right, there's a church right there. It's a and then there's and the end of the line is down the way. We'll go to it and there. But anyway, so most of my press and media stuff has been related to the CES 2020, 2025, CES 2026. I tried to get to Computex, didn't make it to Computex. I did register. I was press media, and then I did go to. I did have content creator on my badge for CES 2026, but then I have another thing from CES saying I was actually media. And when I went and talked to them at the area in the press area, and they did let me go into the press area for lunch, and I did meet some people in the press area from the Computex, and they were media. And that's why our media would meet other people, or did meet people in that area. So I was media. Yeah, Lawrence, I was media because I met one of your employees there, Nolan, last year, 2026 or 25, wasn't it? And in 2026, I saw you. I didn't see you there that year, but I did see you in 2025, and I saw you at the Primax booth. Looked kind of different, but and then my apartment complex is actually 51, but it's on it's 53. It's on the other side, and then the bus stop is right down this way. And this is and I don't know why the bus doesn't start either at the church or just go around the corner and go to that first stop. And that first stop would be right by the school, and that way you can service a school. But yeah, I guess you can service a school at this bus station at this location too, I guess. But it's not really compared to earlier the video was that really nice bus station. Yeah, that was a really nice bus station. This is kind of crappy. It doesn't say bus station. Yeah, at the beginning of the line in Laguna Beach, it doesn't say bus station either. It used to. I mean, I used the bus, unfortunately, for a while since I did have a car, and then I had a car, and then didn't have a car, and just cars are expensive. Gas is like $2 or $3 more California than it is anywhere else in the state. So people are switching over to electric here, and also just because the people have to survive and eat and everything else. But right here is the bus station here, and this is Alta the Paz. And if you turn Alta to Paz, if you turn right again, that's where the bus would store. There would be a place for a bus station or a bus stop on Tonya, or you can go down the block around and go around the church and do the first stop at the church, and then bring people to the church, but also bring people to a bus stop location that is serviceable by the Catholic church buses, and also service. You can also use it for the local buses too, be serviced. But this is the bus stop for RSM, the last bus stop, and then the first bus stop is in Laguna Beach, and Laguna Beach is it's right down from. They just put in a museum for surfboards, so I thought was pretty cool. But Laguna Beach is really cool. It has beach and surface and all that nice stuff. It's a beautiful area now, and this is the neat thing about this is you have and this is the bus stop. Doesn't say bus stop, and this is RSM. And the neat thing about it is you go from the beaches the whole way to on 89. You go from the beaches the whole way to the mountains, because the mountains are right there. And you can go and hike in the mountains one day, and you can then go to the beaches. And I tried to submit this to a couple places, saying that it's a great for if somebody wanted to take a trip and a real cheap trick and do an Airbnb and be able to go to the beaches and mountains, and then see a lot of good shopping. Maybe work in this area. It would be an awesome place to be. Anyway, and then it does end up right beside it. There is a media. The school, the church, Sonic Catholic Church High School is right beside it, and they do have other events at the Sonic Catholic High School. They have they have a soccer field, they have a baseball field, they have all these different events, and it's a full high school, um, and it's right here. Um, and then they have fields for different events and baseball stuff. So why wouldn't we, take advantage of that? You know, um, and then you know, so I'll end this actually where where I think there should be a bus stop, and that is either there's one at if you go to the left at the end of the street, there's one actually at the church, and there's a empty box right now where it could be a their location, and that's where the maybe you should start the line at, and that way, or in the line at, and that could be the bus station, because um, it's on Antonio. Antonio is really long. Antonio goes the whole way from RSM to Mission Viejo, but it's also it's like I think 30 miles or 20 miles long. I think goes the whole way to Oso. I used to live off of Oso and Margaret at the apartment complex, uh, and in apartment 202. Now I'm over here in BC3H. Um, I am a YouTuber. I have 13 different YouTube channels or 14 different YouTube channels. Then I have TikToks and then Twitches, and then I also have things like looks like they have a tennis court. They have a indoor soccer like that, and then they have different fields at this high school. Then they have a full high school. They did have a big thing at the high school where they had a um, movements and everything else going on to fund the high school and also fund this church. I go to church here. Um, I am Catholic. I've been Catholic all my life. Though I was been homeless though part of my life. And when I lived with my dad and worked for my dad in my dad's office, also when I was um, going through some hard times, I lived at my dad's office. But then after my dad's office was closed down, I lived there until we sold it, the family, and we owned it as a trust. And then I got money from it, and I should have probably invested in a house and a car. Instead, I just invested in other things, family, friends, and people, and then just gave loans to people. Never got paid back on anything except one person, and she's my sister. I loaned most of my brothers, neither of them paid me back. And this is the apartment complex I currently live at. It's the Villa La Paz apartment homes, and it says Antonio is coming up. Yeah. I wanted to work with, I even paid a lot of bills for my dad, and he asked me to pay his storage fees a lot because when I go pay my storage fees, they would say, well, they haven't paid fees, and I'd pay them. That's why I went through some of my 100,000 I had to pay. I also worked for the city of Amarillo that year, so I had to pay $10,000 in taxes. And when I paid $10,000 in taxes, it dropped it from I got $100,000, and then dropped it to 90,000, and then I lived off of it for 2 years basically. And then my sister said, "Well, you need to find work to do something," and I worked for this guy. Came here and lived with him in San Diego. Went to San Diego land party, did some other things, but then I came back to Amarillo. Lived with my sister for a while, and she had said move on to back to Amarillo. And I went to the homeless shelter and then I was in the outgoing program working for Office Depot, for Best Buy, and then Office Depot, and then I went to and lost my job at Office Depot after almost 4 years, and then went to of all places lived with my brother, and then came out here and got in their shelter, and then I got into their homeless housing program. And then I recently worked really hard to get my life back in order after voices in my head tried to treat me like goat meat. And when I did that, I forced myself to get through a degree at Coursera in business. Aside, I could just get a degree in computers networking, doing something and get a bachelor's degree in that. But I'd already completed the work, so they told me they had to do another thing to get the degree. So I got a degree in that. And that was my degree in concentration management. There's no sign here anymore. This looks like a bus station, bus stop type location. This is the hour into my live stream. And they have paths here, you know, you can put, a bus stop here and make it the first, and then you can service the school and the high school. And also there is, at the other end, there's a nicer bus stop. It's for the high school and the school and the church. But that church, then it bring people into the church, but also that could be the stop, or this stop, to support the low income people of the world, like me. I am pressing media through CES 2025, 2026, and Computex. Also, I've been praying a lot, doing different things. I walked by the church every day. Today, I walked by the church and prayed, and then I went and walked around the park. And when I did the park thing, I decided I go live on YouTube, and so I'm done. Hope you all have a great day. There's a nice path here, and sometimes there are places to sit down and talk to people. It's a beautiful area, nice community. Though sometimes the community kind of is abrasive, but and then I did have some other things. I do have my different channels. Check them out. Who be Michael Gouldy. Check out my content on all my different YouTube channels. You can search for me on YouTube, Michael Gouldy. I'm still having problems getting into Facebook, Instagram, and to some other social medias because I lost my iPhone 15. When I lost my iPhone 15, I had everything secured through two-factor and also my phone number. I had the phone number for like 5 years, I guess, or 10 years maybe. So everything was secured through that phone number, and that phone number is no longer valid. I got a free phone through Access Wireless, and I had that phone, and then I lost my 15, so I went to use that phone. Then I upgraded. That phone was defective Android Go phone, so I upgraded to a 12 Pro Max because I really wanted a Pro Max to do video, and I didn't think this type of phone would do good on video and do live video, do live Instagrams, do the things that I would think I needed to do. So I spent some money with a firm. A firm's been really good to me, and did that and made it possible to move to, and so I did that. So I did 12 Max, and Mobile Supply worked with me, and they sold it to me, and then I had some problems with it. I contacted them. They were going to replace it. They contacted me as soon as I complained. They offered a replacement of the 12, and it was SIM-based plus eSIM. And then I said, I really wish I could have some type of a phone that had the new format. It's not the old format connector, because that was the connector that used USB-C. Was because I had a 15. I had all my stuff was USB-C, so they did that anyway. So they worked with me, and Mobile Supply let me have a 15 Pro Max, and then I've been having problems with that. I think maybe I put too many eSIMs on it because I have 3 eSIMs on it. Maybe malware affected or something because it just reboots all of a sudden. It won't work. And then I've gone to Apple Store now this 3 times, and then they just give me crap. And I used to love Apple, and I had Apple devices. I even gave one of my Apple devices I loved to a friend that used to be my roommate. And then an iPad. I cleared it off, or I gave it to him. Looks like they're cleaning up the apartment complex. And then there's a pool here at this end, and then there's also a workout area, and there's also, beside the workout area, there is a laundromat. And I do live on the other side, so I'm gonna walk over there. But this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, guys. Check me out on Who Be Michael Gouldy. Check me out on all my different socials. Check me out on my different links. As I said before, we all saw the boat on RSM Lake. If there's a boat on RSM Lake, why can't there be fishing boats on the RSM Lake? Why can't there be jet skiing? Why can't there be water skiing on it. Why can't there be more events on it? Um, we did see it. It's in this video. You can see it in the video. There is a boat ramp. I haven't been to Lake Mission Viejo to check if there's a boat ramp. I haven't seen actual boats on Mission Viejo Lake. There is other boats on Mission Viejo Lake. I would love to be able to enjoy those events here at this lake, or people would probably. Um, anyway, also, I did publish an article about January 6th and Donald Trump. It got my car damaged, and then I had to end up and I got worked on by some woman that said she was going to be able to do the job, and unfortunately, the job wasn't done good enough, and the car engine decided it wasn't going to blow, but instead of blowing, something got into the transmission, and I couldn't use the transmission anymore, so I had to sell the car or donate the car because this apartment complex said it was out too far and it wasn't clean enough, so they said you have to sell your car or move it or it'll be towed. And then I contacted the organization that the Veterans Association after I talked to Cash for Cars. This Cash for Cars came and told me they were going to buy him a car, and I had sold them the car previously. It was a RAV4, and it was for $800, and they just gave me a check as they came in. When this guy came in from Cash for Cars, yeah, he said this and this and this, and I said this and this too. Then he started bidding the car down. He said it was 120, then 100, then 80, or and I was like, man, I can't do that. And I walked away, and he started trying to get in a fight with me. So I said, screw it. No, let's let him be. Anyway, so then that's why I donated to and I was with USA Insurance. And I did get, I guess, charged off by them because I did make my last payment. USA I was with for years and years. I probably I got some money from them from different car accidents, and I will say that USAA is a great insurance. I do have credit cards through them. I do have my other problems because I've been submitting some stuff and been having problems with that, with them replying to things I submitted at USA. I do have all this listed on in my brief on. If you look at space on Hoobie, there's a link to the January 6th article plus all the other stuff related to the January 6th article to Donald Trump. Anyway, and then also on Hoobie, there's a link to the actual article and link to my information, and then link to also to the donation, the video of them picking up the vehicle. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. Check me out on my different socials. Check me out. Search for me on YouTube. Search for me on Google. Search for me on TikTok. Search for me on Instagram and Facebook, and also search for me on MySpace. And then you can also search for me on other places. And there's other independent search engines. You can use those. And there's also other places to look for me. Thank you for your time. And I did post a thing about Pornhub, and it was me not, there's nothing new in that video. It's about a guy that I knew was in a ship defending our world above us, supposedly. And his ship was completely destroyed. He was attacked. He was defending our world, and he died. And he was married to a girl that used to do porn, not anymore, but she was his wife, and that's why the video is about that. And my admiration for the guy. Anyway, have a great day, guys. Bye. Yeah, trying to figure out how to turn this damn thing off. Oh, nope. The way I could add a person to share the audience with. I was going to try to do that. And there's this guy over here. I don't know who he is. Let me see if I can turn it completely off, maybe.